So ever since I posted my last two videos, Arches National Park in 4K 60p and Canyonlands National Park in 4K, I've got a ton of people asking me how to process time lapses, where I get my music, what equipment I use, all of that. The way most people will do this, they'll take their root folder that has all their raw files in it, and they'll just drag it right into After Effects, and that is exactly how you're supposed to do it. There's only one problem. It only shows you the first frame, which is great, and oh yeah, it's starting to look good already. But you can't see all the other photos, and you don't know if your beginning's gonna be too dark and your ending's gonna be too bright or the opposite. So I'm gonna show you how to take care of that, and it's very, very easy. So I'm just gonna hit cancel right here. So we're gonna go back to those photos. First of all, I wanna find my sweet spot of this entire time lapse. So I'm gonna select them all, hit my space bar, and then there's a cool little spot up here where I can kind of see them all in tile view and scroll through them quickly. So I'm going to scroll down until I kind of get that sun has just come up, but yet there's still some powerful shadows. That's a pretty good spot right there. I'm going to select that one, and that is 2740. Okay, so I want to find 2740. That is definitely my sweet spot. I definitely want to focus on that shot as I process my time lapse. So I'm going to grab that one, but I'm going to hold Command, and I'm also going to select, one up here, and of course my very first shot. I want to select that one, so I have all these selected. I'm going to get 5 this time because this is a longer time lapse. Usually you can just do 3. You can do your middle point, your beginning shot, and your end shot. Now I'm going to pull them down to Photoshop. That way I can see all 5 shots that kind of span my entire time lapse. And as you can see, they're right here. Here's their thumbnails. You got my brightest one, my darkest one, the sun's not even up, and that perfect shot. I'm going to start with the perfect shot. First things first, I'm going to crop this thing to 16 by 9. So I'm going to come up here to my crop tool, make sure 9 to 16, okay, and I'm going to crop that. And this isn't a perfect color grade or anything that I'm going to do. This is just kind of, I'm showing you guys the process of why I do things this way. That's a pretty good crop right there. Okay, my blacks, I want to make them black. My whites, I want to make them white. All right, so that's looking pretty good. I mean, that's a quick edit. I'm selected on this one. I'm going to select these first ones and hit Sync Settings. I also want to select Crop. Hit OK, boom. So it adjusts the crop. So we got this first shot, our second shot. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Got our middle shot. That is definitely looking gorgeous. After that, okay, things start to get a little bit blown out. So I'm going to go back in here. I'm just going to bring probably my lights and my darks back down. I could live with that there. Now let's take that and we're going to sync that now. We don't need to sync the crop this time because we already did that. So we're going to sync it. Okay, that's looking pretty good actually. All the shots are usable. It does get a slightly bright on this last one, but I like it. Okay, we're done with that. Let's just hit done. By saying done, it then creates an XMP file for every single one of these, and that's kind of all your settings for the photo, just right there. And it's right next to the file that it's next to. A quick side note, you can also do this in Lightroom if you want. I mean, you can bring them down into Lightroom. Now, I'm going to show you just one little trick you need to do if you want to do this in Lightroom, because you want to save those XMP files in the same folder, and Lightroom won't just do that automatically when you're like, oh yeah, I'm done. Let's import just the ones I selected. You can see that only the ones I selected are going to be imported, so it'll be like 5 photos. All right, there we go. So it imported the 5 files that I wanted real quick. To make this to where you can edit them and then just kind of close out and it'll save an XMP, you need to go up here to Lightroom, go to Catalog Settings, and then go to Metadata and make sure you click on this Automatically Write Changes to XMP. That will make it to where when you're done editing these photos, so you go in here, you develop them, you make them look gorgeous. So we're going to select those, we're going to sync. They're all synced and they look beautiful. This will make it to where now when you just exit out of Lightroom, it's going to do the exact same thing. It's going to save those XMP files next to your photos. Like I say, you can do it in Lightroom, you can do it in Photoshop Raw, either one, they both work. I've used them both myself, and I'm going to now drag that folder in here because I already know, okay, it's done, it looks good, I like it. Hit OK. Now, before I go down and drag this into a new timeline, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go to Interpret Footage, Main. The client that I'm doing this one for wants this in 60 frames a second, and it's actually 59.94, so 59.94. Assume this frame rate. That's what we're going to do for this one. You can select 2997, 23976, or 98, 30, or 60, whatever you need for your project. If you have clients that are really specific, this is where you can do that. Hit OK, Now I'm going to drag this down. Now I have my timeline. And it looks like it's going to be about 14 seconds. I'm actually going to rename this the original name of what I named it here in my folder, just so I can keep track of it. I'll probably change the name later anyway, but let's just do that for now. Okay, Arch and Arch Sunrise C, because I did 2 others before that morning. And I can go through and kind of take a look at this and be like, oh yeah, that's looking really good. Sun's coming up, bam, oh, that looks really good. But I'm going to show you now how I export things. So right here, I'm going to take that and I will go to export, and I usually send things over to Media Encoder. I have all my presets in Media Encoder, and they're the same presets I use for when I'm working in After Effects or Premiere, so that's just kind of nice. So what I'll do is I'll select this, and it's already used my preset, so I do ProRes. This is a preset I created myself. It's ProRes 422HQ in QuickTime. But what I did is I just say no audio. Now I'm going to make one change to this because the client, I don't need it in 4240 by 2385. I'm going to just make it 3840 by 2160, which is kind of the standard. That's the only difference I'm going to make, and I'm going to have this go right to my desktop just for now. Okay, and render. All right, now let's take a look at this. Sun's coming up. Ooh, beautiful. Oh, I saw one problem. Okay, right there. We got a bird flying right through my shot, and he's in 1, 2, he's barely there. He's in 3 different frames. Well, that's okay. I know how to paint him out of there, and I will show you guys how to do that in another tutorial very, very soon. But other than that, yeah, it looks pretty good. It's smooth. Colors look nice. That's it for today. Thanks for watching a ton. Please subscribe. I'll be coming out with more awesome highlight reels, especially in 4K. I'm trying to hit all the national parks here in Utah. I'll also be coming out with many other tutorials, from organizing footage to how I pack things and all of that when I go out on these shoots. And I'm also going to be doing a lot of product reviews in the near future. I've got brand new camera gear like the Sony a7S II and the Edelkrone Slider Plus. And of course, you can always follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks for watching.